Host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody? See, they're trying to celebrate in DC, and we're going to talk about in a stressful New Year's. Okay, just like me trying to go live tonight. I want to go on my computer, but I guess they said they needed access. Do it on my phone. Anyway, tell you what. Sometimes dealing with these social media platforms, just to have your measly little channel. I'm waiting for some people to show up, so if you want to fast forward about 4 minutes into the video, and then we'll get started on all the great stuff that's happening. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about the weather, because I tell you what, my grass is starting to grow again at Christmas time. It's springtime here. I mean, the ground hasn't froze. It's not... Boy, be able to put the horses out in pasture in January. And I mean, I realize it ain't gonna get like that, but you know, we're supposed to get into maybe the 70s this week. This is unreal. I mean, it should be cold at least, and we should have some snow on the ground. But it's neither of the one. But it would be nice to get some moisture. Tell you what, that would be nice. It's really dry here. Heck, we had a fire danger because of the wind the other day. Yep. Sure don't want any fires to start out here this time of year. They'll burn everything up. Anyway, still waiting for a few people to show up. YouTube must not be advertising this. Oh, there we got somebody. I appreciate you being here for the Lone Wolf Preppers discussion this Sunday night. Wait for a few more people to show up. I tell you what, the ski resorts out here out west are really hurting. You know, they got a lot of rain and stuff in Washington and Oregon area, Pacific Northwest. And I thought we might get some of that moisture, but I guess not. So it's dry. My allergies are going haywire in this type of weather. Just doesn't normal to be, you know, I'll probably do some live streams outside this weekend because it's going to be so, or this week it's going to be so nice. Might as well be out and enjoying it, right? Yep. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. Well, let's get started. Let's get started on a Merry Warmas and a stressful New Year's. Hey, how's it going, G67? Yeah. You know, the president gets on TV in front of the cameras and says and talks about how great it is, how he's not selling arms to Ukraine anymore. He's just selling them to other countries full price, you know, and they're selling to Ukraine, right? And hey, hello everybody. Appreciate you being here. Okay, and he's happy about this is a Christmas season. I mean, all these arms are selling. This is what it's like, people. If I were to sit there, you know, the president being the biggest arms deal in the world, and everybody thinks it's okay, how would this scenario be? I got this friend that's having problems with his neighbor, but his neighbor's got a few more weapons than they do. So you decide, hey, you know what? I'll help you out. I'll sell you some of my guns. So even more, so you're more armed than they are. And this is what it is. And then bragging about how great of a deal I did. President of the United States, biggest arms dealer in the world. And they brag about it. And a lot of these arms are made how? By American tax dollars. That's how it's funded to produce them. So they're using our tax dollars to make weapons that they can sell to other countries, so they make money at that end. Okay, it's beyond real, people. It's beyond real what's going on. And then we seized another ship, Venezuelan ship or Chinese ship that was sailing the Venezuela flag or whatever. But it sounded like it had a Chinese registration. I mean, that may be some problems in the future. Okay, I mean, I thought we were just blowing up drug boats, high-speed drug boats that had about 4 people that just cruising down the water. What's all of a sudden with this seizing oil tankers? What gives them the right to do that? How about Russia or China say that, and I'm an American, red-blooded American, pure blood American, no RNA in me. How would we feel if Russia or China decided, hey, the U.S. is exporting something and it's illegal, it's contraband, so we're going to blockade their shores and confiscate any ship that we suspect this is on this registry that could be bad. It's the same thing, people. As you sell arms to your weapons to your friend because he's having a scuffle with his neighbor and he just happens to be, his neighbor seems to be better and a little bit more armed than he is, to make the sides fair or not so much fair. And they're proud of it. I'm going to have a prediction show on December 30th. This ain't going to be a prediction show. This is just what our government's given us to look forward to next year and to have a merry warmas, okay? And then we're bombing Syria now because of those 2 National Guard troops and an interpreter in Syria. My whole question behind it, okay, me had been in the military, I don't quite understand what National Guard troops are doing active duty over in a foreign country for. I mean, that should have been active duty military, I personally believe. I don't know what the idea behind the National Guard is. I can say they're not active duty. They don't train and learn new stuff every day. They don't go out there and, put, when you're in the fleet and stuff out on there and ship. They should be here to guard the home. By the way, they shouldn't have been there. That's against protocol. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What the hell was the National Guard doing there? Anybody who's ever been in the military, like me, knows there's a difference between active duty personnel, especially the ground side, compared to National Guard. And it's just because when you're active duty, you live military 24/7, nonstop, okay? Your day, you wake up military, you go to bed military. We even had a guy in our unit, no shit, that slept at attention. On his back, at attention. He slept. Okay? You don't have National Guard that's that way. They're not, nothing against National Guard, just there's a difference. With the physical abilities, I mean, you go 2 weeks a year, 2 weeks a year or once every weekend, right? We used to go to field for 3 weeks at a time. At a time. Well, that's just that month. Big difference, people, big difference. But yeah, what were they doing there? Okay? And he says Washington, D.C. is safe in his speech, but as long as you're not a National Guard person, Washington, D.C. is safe. At least it's a bad thing that guy went after any Americans, but if he would have went after civilians, the death toll would have been a lot worse. I can say, at least we had a fucking terrorist who took it out on who he was angry at. He actually sat there and went after people that had guns. Right? Not condoning what he did, but I'm just saying as a terrorist, he did take out innocent civilians. He took a lot of them out. He went after the people that pissed him off or represented it. Guys in the military guy and a gal in the military that were carrying guns. Okay? And he knew he was going to die. But, there might have been some PTSD there, or, he worked for the CIA. God knows what there only is. Just like this guy who shot up to Brown's University and then went and killed that MIT professor that he went to school with in Portugal and had a grudge against, and he failed. This guy succeeded, and this other moron that the shooting failed, and he went and ended a 30-year-old grudge and then killed himself? I'd love to see the story plot on that. A little bit of Pelican Brief, right? Anyway, hey J99, good to see you. Yeah, I tell you what, YouTube, I was going to go live, and it wouldn't let me go live, and then it kept saying we need access to your microphone and camera. Well, no shit, that's what I'm using. What do you mean you don't have access to it? So I don't know what's going on. YouTube's playing a lot of games with me. You know, they don't want the word getting out. Like I say, this little guy like me, this crazy ass Marine like me, scares those elites so much that they need to silence me. Or anybody else that would start a YouTube channel and kick against the pricks. Like I say, there's a lot of channels I used to watch years ago that would have thousands of viewers during the live stream. Thousands, and they'd be there the whole time. Now they're getting hundreds, okay? Hundreds. Because of the algorithm, right? Like I say, they always say, well, the algorithm's just trying to find out if you're human, and then the algorithm's trying to figure out where your audience is, okay? So the algorithm's so fucking smart that all of us on YouTube that watch social media can tell right away if it's an AI-generated video immediately. And all of us sit there and can listen to somebody for a little bit, one video, two, maybe it will take you 3 videos, but you'll figure out where their audience is. So you mean after 1,500 plus videos, the algorithms still don't know if I'm a real person and still don't know who my audience is? And these are the things that are in charge of social media. And not only, they have authority. The AI algorithm bullshit has authority in these companies, okay? Where they can shadow ban somebody, silence somebody, cancel a channel, without a human being ever interacting. Like I say, I did that video today. Just think of the people that already have a computer or AI brainchild, you know, whatever the AI system is, as their boss. There's people out there like that. AI in charge of humans and humanity. I can't imagine how that could go wrong. But don't worry. That's what these people are pushing for. And that's what us content creators got to deal with. We're on the front lines. That's why we understand it maybe a little bit more than the other guy, because the other guy's just watching. He isn't the one that they're trying to silence. Okay? You have a lot of wisdom, and that'll help the people. Keep keeping on. Thank you for your service. Well, I appreciate it. See, this is the thing, people. I want to correct the problem. I'm 58 years old. I never thought that when I was 58, I would sit in there and have to be dealing with the domestic enemy of this country. And as a vet, I'm part of the well-regulated militia. You think when I got out of the Marine Corps, well, I did realize what was coming because, like I say, I went in during Reagan and got out during Clinton. The country had changed quite a bit in those 8 years. And, I saw the change. But I thought for sure people would have stood up by now. That's one video I'm doing next week on the Nuremberg Code. If you're watching, look up the Nuremberg Code. We're going to be discussing it. And we're going to see, because the Nuremberg Code, well, obviously it was created after World War II, passed by the United States, new ethics for medical people, and they can't be used as medical experiments, that type of stuff. And if you do, it's basically wars against humanity, crimes against humanity. Wait till I read those 10 principles of the Nuremberg Code. And you tell me if these days there ain't a few people that need to be charged with crimes against humanity. But then again, Russia is, Fauci can't go to Russia no more. He'll never get out of that country if he were to go there. But anyway, yeah, YouTube and its stuff. I can't imagine why, a patriot, but they tried shutting the patriots back up in the 1770s too, to clamp down, use force. But everybody had printing press back then, kind of like people have a YouTube. You know, that's the thing. If you had a printing press back then, during the revolution or the years before the revolution, you were like me and you were sitting there writing the words down, printing them yourself, and then handing out the leaflets, doing the whole thing. That makes YouTube a lot easier, doesn't it? But so I'm just like a modern day Thomas Paine or something. You know, the wisdom. Where's the wisdom come from? Seeing the world the way it was. I like to say they took a small town Minnesota farm boy, and all of a sudden, a year and a half later, my eyes were completely open to the way the world is. And, you know, the wisdom comes from that. You can experience stuff and have the knowledge of it. But through time, you know, let's just say I don't think like I did when I was in. Not that I ain't gung-ho, but I'm more gung-ho to save my country than fight for a frickin' politician. I'd rather fight for the Constitution and my fellow citizen, no matter how they believe. Remember, I joined the military to protect the speech of people I did agree with, because they had a right to be heard too. All these selfish reasons. I go there anyway to serve all Americans. Right, G99? Did you join the Army to just serve your family? Nobody thinks that way. Because, you know, you get to your unit, and back, like I say, when I was in, we still had squad bays, community showers, and all that stuff. But you formed a new family there. I'll be closer to my buddies in the Marine Corps than I ever will to my family. Not that I'm too close to my family anyway, but that's just the way it was. You know, my best friends were black, Mexican, and a hillbilly from North Carolina. And we all got along great. You know, I didn't realize that we were supposed to hate people just because of their color. What about me? In the Netherlands, they take your kids from you when they are 1 year old to daycare and you have no control of their growth. I can't even believe that. See, this is the thing. They think kids are property of the state. But then when your kid screws up when they're growing up, then the parents are responsible and need to go to jail, but the parents have no say. See, when we were growing up, the state had no say, basically. Parents were hard, times were hard. You couldn't raise a child anymore like we were raised. You'd be hauled in jail for child abuse. I mean, do you think we had heat or air conditioning upstairs in the house? No, during the wintertime, that's why you had quilts. If it was 30 below outside, it was about 25 below upstairs. We toughed it out. You couldn't raise a kid like that no more. Kid went to school and said something like that, the parents would get arrested. I mean, how did people like me ever grow up? Heck, we had lead-based paint. We didn't wear seatbelts. We didn't have cell phones so we could be monitored 24/7. We did a lot of stupid shit when we were kids, but we survived. I can't imagine what it's like growing up as a kid now, going out on a Friday night, knowing that they got tracing apps and, oh my God, parents are watching everything you fucking do. Ooh, J99, we grew up in the right time, didn't we? These kids don't have any clue what fun is. Anyway, but those are days that are left in the past, right? When you get older, there's certain things you shouldn't talk about no more. Kids don't understand it anyway. I mean, they don't understand what, before cell phones, before computers, how'd you people ever live? We lived awful damn good is what we did. Anyway, but yeah, we got war on the horizon. You know, and then Europe's talking about how they want to go to war with Russia. I mean, are you kidding me, Europe? Are you out of your fucking mind? And then they want to buck the United States. The only reason Europe is powerful is because of the United States. They've done squandered all their money. They don't have money for a military. I mean, I'm sure the United States military is probably bigger than all of Europe's combined. And this is the thing. NATO's going to take on Russia, right? Russia has been fighting against NATO weapons now for what? Going on 3 years? Going on 4 years. Holy cow. And we haven't made a dent in them. And they've taken a lot of damage, you might say. And we haven't even put a dent in them. And all of a sudden we're going to, puff. You know, after the little kid's punching the big kid in the stomach, and the big kid just looking at him like, was that supposed to hurt? And all of a sudden, I'm going to come at you harder this time. Yep. Welcome to the new normal. Anyway, I'm just sick of the war talk. I'm sick of the bombs falling. Can we at least have Christmas around the world without bombs falling or anybody dying in vain from any side? Can we have peace on earth for one 24-hour period? How about we call, hey, I'm starting. Let's call a ceasefire all over the world on Christmas, December 25th. And then the Muslims can come up with their day of absolutely no violence. Peaceful day for 24 hours. And then the Hindus can. How about we have holidays for every religion, a holiday where there's not allowed to be anybody mistreated in the world, nobody dying in vain. Think human beings could ever do that? That's on my wish list for Christmas. Peace on earth for one day. One day. You know, are you willing to sacrifice your feelings for that one day? Are you willing to sacrifice your urge to want to kill your neighbor for one day, to have peace on earth for one day? God, it doesn't sound like it should be that hard, does it? There are so many cultures in this world. You know, a lot of them have no contact with us, that live in peace every day of the year. But we're supposed to be the civilized ones, right? Yes, that would be beautiful with the J99. But see, then, again, that's another reason why they don't like me on YouTube or in social media. Because I want to spread that people need to get along. Find a way to get along instead of find a way to hate each other. I mean, our governments are made up of people just like us. Just like us. And their neighbors are just a little bit more bigger and powerful. Okay? But none of them get along. Anyway, yeah, it's wishful thinking. Unity scares them. Yeah, because unity scares them because people that are united see the real enemy. If the division in this country would disappear and everybody could see their politician, the one in the microphone saying you're supposed to hate your neighbor because he's got a better car or he's a different color or they're a different nationality or whatever the goddamn reason is. The guy who's getting up or the woman who you're supposed to hate, but getting up just like you, having their coffee, watching their TV shows, whatever they want, because you have freedom of choice in this country, and it goes to another day of work being a slave just like you, and you want to hate that person? They're suffering just like you are. But see, both of them, like the MAGA and the liberal retards on both sides, think it's the other guy's fault. No, it's the government's fault. Simple. You know, that short I made today. Evil does not announce itself. Evil does not announce itself. And it denounces, divides, and creates false enemies so people can be fighting with each other. You know, we got evil sitting there trying to say, the good that's going in this country. Somebody like me who's trying to say, hey, Americans, you need to wake up. Doesn't matter what color you are, what nationality you are, whatever. If you're an American, you need to wake up. We're losing our country. Okay? It's an American idea. God, we got our Republican democracy and we got our Democrat democracy. See, this is why democracies don't work. Because it depends on who's in charge, what kind of democracy you have. If you have a constitutional republic, which handcuffs the government, makes rules for the government they're supposed to follow, you don't have such issues that we have, the social issues we have anymore these days. You know, our founding fathers didn't want us to have social services. Our founding fathers wanted us to have freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the government was supposed to protect that for every American without no intrusion from anybody, especially the frickin' government or a foreign nation that's controlling government officials. Yeah, tell me it's not true. Hey, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up to subscribe and bell notification. Anything to help the channel grow, I appreciate it. Because like I say, they want us silenced. They want us to remain divided. I can't figure out a reason why I'm supposed to hate any American citizen except the ones that are being tyrants to me. Okay? And right now, all the pressure is coming down from D.C. Like I say, Trump. Oh, this country's doing great, making more money than it's ever made. Then how can we keep going into debt? If this country's making more money than it's prosperous as ever been before, then why are we still going into debt? I know if I got a budget, right? And all of a sudden, 3 months later, I got bonuses coming up the ass, you know, I can pay off a lot of bills. Anyway, I got all this extra money. What do you do? Just buying stuff? Oh, I'm making all this extra money. I need to take out another credit card, charge that up. I need to take out a loan and stuff. I don't feel it. I don't see it. I see prices going up. Oh, gas is falling. Good. I guess we keep, I guess all that oil that you're confiscating now from Venezuela, Americans should be getting that for free. So they're gonna confiscate it and then sell the oil to the oil companies. Our government's full of crooks, man. Then they sit there and put a good show on, right? Just like Trump talking into the camera like a nice, strong man, motivating his base. We're doing great. Just keep on, everybody. We're doing great. Okay. Next year, after the holidays are over, when the economy really sinks in, oh, Christmas sales are so great. It's all being done on debt, people. And debt is not an asset, no matter what they want to teach. Okay? Ooh, Christmas sales were up. What? Let's say $1 billion. And credit card debt went up $999 million. Yay! Can't trust anyone in D.C. God dang right. Like I say, J99, you see what I want to do. I want to solve this fucking problem. Because 2026 is going to be a stressful new year. Let's talk about a stressful new year. Okay? I mean, people are going to have a lot of extra money in my pocket because they're not going to take as much taxes from me. Really? I love it when you're going to get an extra 20, you maybe get an extra $40 a month, how that's going to sit there and save you when it costs more than that to fill up your gas tank. I mean, savings to what? I thought you were going to get rid of the IRS, Trump. What do you need a tax cut for if you were getting rid of the IRS? If we're making so much money on tariffs, More money than you people know. Then what the hell do we need an IRS for? Why do the American people need to be robbed from their paycheck before they even see it? Why? If you don't need the money, then drop part of it. Nope, he's just going to lower taxes. Okay, for who? What about all these tariff rebate checks we're supposed to get? Okay? And then he said that the money for the bonus, Christmas bonus for the military was coming out of tariff money? No, that's a lie. Okay, see, they just fucking lie because nobody calls them on it. And if you call them on it, look what happens. Like, weren't there supposed to be some files that were supposed to release intact? You know, all of them on Friday? Wasn't there something that was supposed to happen on Friday? Did Pam Bondi get hauled to jail for contempt of Congress? And then they redact all this shit. And then they removed 16 files that had pictures of Trump. I mean, no, they're not trying to hide anything. The government is completely transparent. They just redacted all that part, okay? That's all. They just redacted the transparency. How else do you put it? All right? Whatever, you know. But, you know, we will find out the truth one day when they're not charged no more. Like, say, the time's coming. Tucker Carlson said, we got two paths we're going down, tyranny or revolution. And I disagree with him on that, and I thought about that. We're on the road to tyranny. It's just us patriots are going to set up a roadblock called revolution, partisan war, constitutional war, whatever. Eventually, they're going to have to confront us. We're going to be that roadblock going down this path. And whatever happens, are we going to be the 300 that hold off, what was it, the Persians? The Greeks held off the Persians or whatever. Are we going to be 300? Or are they going to get through and continue on down the path? Okay, and wipe us out. We're the roadblock for keeping the world from being a slave, turning into complete darkness and slavery. Well, if they get through that roadblock. But eventually, that roadblock will be there for them to have to get through. And I will be part of that. You won't hear the shot, Jarhead. What do you mean by that? I won't hear the shot. The beef Wellington, overrated. I want to make it for Christmas. I don't know, you can make whatever you want. Anyway, you know, see, insults. I won't hear a shot, huh? Okay, whatever. The fetus, you know, that's the thing about civilians. They have no clue what active duty military are like, and especially active duty ground side Marines. No clue. No clue. You know, they definitely couldn't have handled the barracks. But whatever. These are the people we're going to be going against. I really don't care. I don't care who you are, how fucking trained you think you are, if you watch a lot of Bruce Lee movies or just play Call of Duty and hit that X button all the time, whatever you did. Okay? When it comes down to boots on the ground, buddy, I hope you got the experience you're talking about. Hope you got the training you're talking about. You know, if you did, you would sit there, be on a platform like me, trying to sit there warn people about what's coming. We can go get rid of this peacefully. Okay, our government is causing problems all over the world. Not just us, okay? But now a lot of citizens in the world have to worry about what Washington, D.C. is going to do. Why, if you're in Russia, should you have to worry about what D.C. is doing? Or England, or Canada, or any country? Why should you have to worry about what they do in D.C.? They're causing problems all over the world. Okay? I know when I travel the world, as a Marine, and you went out on leave and stuff, you had to look nice, had to wear a collared shirt and stuff, and you had to act nice. You had to sit there and definitely not treat the locals like you were better than them. I never had a problem in another country fitting in with a crowd of foreigners. Always liked it. I like experiencing different things, see different ways people live, listening to how they grew up, and not being judgmental, but being curious. Anyway, but back in the good old days, no, most people can't handle being in the military. No, they can't. I mean, they can't. I mean, just, they can't. So that's that. Anyway, the stressful New Year's we're going to have. I mean, everybody, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring today. I mean, is when you go shopping, is the Walmart you're going to go to, or is it going to get shot up? Is the school your kids go to, or are they going to get shot up? Well, unless your kid, I guess we should all start sending our kids to schools that politicians' kids go to. Those schools never get shot up now, do they? Anyway, but nobody knows where your finances is. Nobody, even businesses can't plan for the future because they don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. With gold going up the way it is. Next year, by the end of January, for sure, gold is going to be $5,000. If it don't hit $5,000 2 weeks after New Year's. Because reality is eventually going to set in, people. Okay? There's not enough money in the world anymore. Us little people don't have enough money anymore. And that's why the government's printing money like crazy, and they're giving it to, we'll give $12 billion to the farmers. We just had it sitting around. We had to get rid of it somehow so they could go spend it and put it into the economy. Okay? Or we'll give this money to a developing nation. All you developing nations that have developed on the old mighty American dollar, those countries are going to hurt worse, even worse than ours. But yeah, it's going to be stressful. And then lo and behold, what if we have bombs falling in our cities? Oh, that could never happen here, Tom. We're superior to every nation in the world. They could never bomb the United States. Just like Hermann Goering. They could never bomb Germany. You'll never see bombers over Germany. Then you'll never see them escorted by fighters over Berlin. But here's a P-51 Mustang with a different motor and drop tanks. All of a sudden we have P-51s fighting off Messerschmitts and stuff over Berlin. Never say never. Why, people will never be attacked by terrorists. I told people in 1994 they were going to get us. Told I was crazy for 7 years. Nobody apologized to me after 9/11. They all lost their minds and fucking freaked out. And I'm like, over what? Something I told you was coming for 7 years? Crazy time. Like I said, when you dealt with the terrorism side and stuff, you knew those people hated your ass, okay? And whether the government let it happen or whatever, it's amazing though we got 9/11 and that Patriot bill was done awful quick now, wasn't it? And they sunsetted it, but nope, the sun keeps rising on it because they just won't let it sunset. It's a continuous rising sun that's burning the shit out of the American people. People just don't believe until it happens. I know. And that's one thing. You're trained in the military. You're trained in anything can happen. You train for the most weirdest shit that could happen. But out here in the civilian world, my phone still works, everything good. Walmart's open. Anyway, plus when you see what I saw overseas and dealt with overseas is now in our country, Fucking Dearborn, Michigan. My God, what they are dealing with. Front line dealing with the Muslims, Dearborn, Michigan. Make sure you sit there and say a holiday prayer for the people of Dearborn, Michigan. Okay? Piss off Allah a little bit. Crazy times. But we got a lot of stress coming next year. Okay? The higher ups in our country. You know why worlds go to world war? Because we got a lot of crazy fucking people in charge of the countries then. Okay? The ones that started. And it seems like the people that are being aggressive and starting wars and wanting to bomb people and bombing countries is the United States and Israel. And Europe wants to sit there and go to war with Russia. Like I say, we could have bombs falling in our cities this year. They don't even have to, I'm not talking nuclear bombs either. Let's say, just say Russia or China or whatever sends over a missile and takes out the Boeing plant in Seattle. That huge ass place. Destroys it. Think people in America might freak out a little bit? Just with conventional warheads. Think people might start freaking out a little bit? Oh yeah. The panic would be unreal. You know, other people around the world, you know, the people that deal with the United States, their people usually eventually end up having to deal with that shit. Bombs falling in their cities and shit. It's amazing how that happens, isn't it? You say everybody thinks that's never going to happen here? Okay. Maybe some civilians can see a whole hillside go up at one time. Not think nothing of it, right? You know, Americans are not ready for the real world because they believe the propaganda coming out of fucking DC. We're not as superior as they want you to be. This isn't a TV show or a Hollywood movie where we know that the TV shows that they know everything about the terrorists. If we do that type of shit, would we ever have a terror attack in this country? Only if they allowed it, right? Only if they allow a false flag to happen. But I know that's bullshit too. Because not like, let's just say that some intelligence, if they don't agree with it, gets thrown in the garbage instead of put in the file. It happens a lot. People's biased opinions, especially analysts that don't like being wrong. Anyway, well, I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, hit that thumbs up to subscribe and the bell notification. And tomorrow I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow night. I think I'm going to do it on the Nuremberg Code tomorrow night. But I'm telling you, when I go over the 10 principles of the Nuremberg Code, which was adopted and pushed by the United States, I might add, in 1947. It's some interesting reading. Okay, you're gonna be like, wow, there's a few people that need to be charged with crimes against humanity. Remember, breaking those 10 principles was a crime against humanity. So anyway, it'll be interesting reading, but like I say, if you want to look up the Nuremberg Code before tomorrow night so you know what I'm talking about, but you will not believe. See, this is like the pandemic. I never found none of this shit because I knew about it. It's like I know stuff that other people don't know, what was just basic common knowledge when I was growing up. You were taught the rights you had protecting you, not what they want to tell you, how they want to enslave you. Just different times, people, different times. Anyway, but that'll be probably a longer one. I don't know. I still need to do the Constitution and, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. But it looks like it's going to be in the 70s this week, people. I won't be doing that one yet. That'll be when I'm stuck in the house for a day. So, anyway. Yeah, I don't understand either, J99, why they wouldn't let me go live on my computer. Never had that problem before. Anyway, I guess I must be becoming too popular on YouTube, right? With all the views, I've been watching my totals go backwards, okay? They are pissed off at me. I'm watching my view count, my subscriber count, all my counts go backwards, right? My number of likes go backwards. If you're even allowed to hit the like button. Woo! I mean, I have well over 1 million views. And I don't even have 1,500 subscribers. Pretty good achievement, I'd say. Pretty good achievement. But like I say, because of all you guys' help, sharing my content, checking out my content, and the people here, like I say, please check out my content called Grandma Ran Over a Liberal Reindeer. Now, the thing is, if there was a liberal that attacked that woman at Target, that worker, if it would have been a fucking stupid ass mega conservative that would have attacked a liberal, I would have made a song concerning that. Okay? I don't care what side you're on. I'm a constitutional conservative, and according to me, the fringe wings of both birds have both lost their freaking minds. I always say Democrats want to babysit you, and Republicans want to control you. Which one would you rather have? I'd rather have neither of them, okay? You know, every parent can't wait till their kids are old enough on their own. So not that you don't worry about them, but you can go on living your own life again. Anyway, but appreciate everybody being here. And like I say, share the content. Like I say, Grandma ran over a liberal reindeer. But I could make one insulting a mega just as fucking easy. Because believe me, when it comes to nasty comments, you liberals ain't got shit on what Mega says. Okay? They are some insulting individuals. But whatever. They do top you at that, Mega. This video still makes me laugh. That video, I know, I love it. They won't. They will not put it out. See, this is the thing with the algorithm with YouTube too, right? Now you're going to know, YouTube algorithm should know that I'm more of a patriot, constitutional type person, right? So why would you even put my content in front of somebody that you know is a liberal? But then again, it's good that they do it, because then those guys click on it and they get pissed, but they think. So maybe it's a good thing. But it's not like they know what audience not to put my stuff in front of. But after all they still don't know what to put in front of. And they want to put, like I say, I can watch a video, you can watch a video and see that it's AI generated garbage. But the AI algorithm computer system that social media platforms have still can't figure it out. Even after 1,500 plus videos, they still don't realize I'm a human being. But don't worry, AI is really smart, right? Ask it what something tastes like. Ask it what ice cream tastes like. Ask them what ocean breeze on your face feels like. Ask them what it's like to fall in love for the first time. Anyway. Kind of deep thought stuff, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. But I want to bring people together here. I don't want to argue and fight, because when the fight does come on, all our petty little differences, all the divisions, how they divided all of us, are going to disappear when everybody can see the real victim. When everybody can see the announcement that evil is here, like I have, like all of you have. Okay? It is deep stuff. I don't know, I'm philosophical in some ways. But, that's just the way my brain thinks. Always been kind of serious my whole life. Looked at life a little differently and stuff. I look past what they wanted me to see. I look past that all the time. And like I say, I'm always the type of guy who challenges the shit out of myself. People always say, "Oh, you're so hard on people." I'm harder on myself. Like that video short I put out today. You become a better person by being harder on yourself than harder on other people. How can somebody be harder on somebody else than themselves when it comes to accomplishing stuff? And I would never ask anybody to do anything that I haven't done or I ain't doing with them. Okay, and I couldn't say something I ain't willing to do. No, something I haven't done. I can sit there and identify with the person doing the work a lot more if I've done it myself. Anyway, so, yep, that's why, I just wish I could have a fair shake on social media. I mean, the times that I do, when the algorithm falls asleep for just a little bit, boo! It's like, fucking NASA, we have a launch. And then with the authority and the power the AI algorithm has, they can just shut it down that quick. Like I say, have an AI, computer programs in charge of having authority over humans and their activities. We got a lot of problems in 2026. Remember, a lot of these white-collar jobs that AI has taken is managerial jobs, meaning that they have humans underneath them. Do you work for a company like that? I don't ever want to be in the position where my boss is a fucking computer. But then again, I'm out here in, livestock and stuff. I would love to see a bipedal AI robot get on a horse once. or try to push cows down the alleyway when you're working cows. Can you say it's going to be taken the fuck out? Because the first thing that animal's going to know, that's not an animal. That's, they look at us as animals, okay? Another animal they coexist with. They're going to realize that's not an animal. And they're going to treat it accordingly. Anyway, I tell you what, you city folk, you have no idea what it's like to be ground pounded by a 1,500-pound animal, all right? Yeah, it's happened to me before. But anyway, life on the ranch, man. Had that good with the bad. If you can't ride a good horse, if you don't get thrown from a horse, you haven't really ridden a horse yet. I've never been bucked off, but I fell off because they fell and stuff. And, that's when a lot of people get killed. It's not being bucked off. It's when the horse slips or whatever, they fall off. And, I could have broke a leg once. Still don't know how that happened. I didn't. It had rained out and we were trotting in the ditch, and he slipped and went down right on his side, right on my leg. And all I had was a little bruise on top of my foot from the stirrup, but I held him down, make sure my leg wasn't broke yet, and then wheezed my way out of there. But joys of living, man. I tell you what, to experience life, okay, it's not done by sitting at home and not, you can die doing anything. I could die out there riding a horse, or you could die driving to work. You got to live every day to the fullest. Got to take advantage of being alive. And that's why I want to be. And I want to sit there and be able to live that in my senior years. And being alive isn't going to be living in merry warmness in a stressful new year. So anyway, appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, tomorrow I'm going to do it on the Nuremberg Code. Interesting. And that needs to get out more. I tried screaming that during the pandemic and people didn't want to listen. They wanted to listen to their fucking politicians. And now there's a black label on that vaccine now. And like I say, wait till I read the 10 principles. There are so much of the shit they broke. Oh my God. Charges against crimes against humanity. If it ever comes, but see, like I say, they broke it. It's written down. Easy language. Understand. About what fucking people are not allowed to do to other people medically. God damn it. We need to sit there and have some justice in this world. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. Appreciate everybody being here. Check out the rest of my content if you would. Please hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. Share that content. And some of it's entertaining. Like I say, sometimes you never know what's going to come out of me, but Grandma ran over a liberal reindeer. You have to check out that video. Hit a thumbs up and share that. Remember, that's support for the Target employee, that elderly woman that got harassed. That's to support that lady, and I think it came out great. Anyway, everybody have a great night, and we'll see you all tomorrow. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.